Oh my god, the freaking video start button, the beep beep beep, it on the Mac was so fucking loud in my ear. Oh my god, that scared the fuck out of me. But anyways, it is OCD Awareness Month. Yes. And in this OCD Awareness Month, I just want to talk about, I have food in my mouth. For OCD Awareness Month, I wanted to talk about my battle with OCD that I had um, a couple years ago. So, I was never formally diagnosed, but I believe in self diagnosis to an extent. I feel like if you know when you have OCD. I just feel like it's that simple. Like, it's not like, oh, I'm cleaning everything because I want it to be cute and nice. No, it is a dangerous, intense form of anxiety, and it is something that I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. Swear to God, I feel like it is worse than depression. I've had my battle with depression. Anxiety was genuinely the killer. Anxiety was genuinely the killer. Like, I was going through it my freshman year, and honestly, and before that, like 19, honestly, like 18, I was anxious more than I'd ever been, but it wasn't to the height that I felt at 19. Like 19 was my worst, excuse me, my worst year to date for my anxiety. It was my worst, and I knew at a certain point, like after talking to different therapists and nothing really coming out of it, I was just like, you know what? Let's just get on those meds. Let's just get on those meds. But like the reason why I feel like I knew that I had OCD, it was like pure OCD. I didn't really have any um, compulsive tendencies to it. The only thing I would do is I had one compulsive tendency, and that was to pray. Other than that, other than that, it was a lot of ruminating, a lot of yes, a lot of ruminating, a lot of intrusive thoughts about just any and everything that would scare me. It really formed from social anxiety and just spiraled into like OCD, truly. Um, and I would say like it started off just me being nervous for social interactions, and I know that sounds so like stupid, or it just sounds like I don't know, like I just hear a judgmental voice in the back of my mind, like you fucking kids is on the phone all the time. That's why y'all don't know how to talk to anybody. That's why you don't know how to have any social interaction. Like that's just what's going on in the back of my mind. But like no, like I do know how to talk to people. I was just too anxious. I was just too anxious to do that. Um, but I when it started, I was just nervous because I was just like, okay, am I gonna say it? So like this is how it really started. I would think of what I was gonna say, but I would think about it over and over and over and over and over again before I would say it. And sometimes I still wouldn't say it. I would just think about it and sit and think about what I was going to say until it was time for me to say it, even though I never said it. I was just thinking over and over. I was like, okay, I have to remain 10 steps ahead. Because if I'm 10 steps ahead of what I want to say, then the conversation will flow perfectly and I won't look stupid and I won't stutter and people are going to be my friend and da da da. So I was like, it'd be a simple question like, how was your day? And by the 100th time, it was no longer, how was your day? It was, well, I want to ask, how was your day going so far? Like, it would always like evolve into something more complicated than how was your day, because I felt like, okay, maybe if I said how was your day, it was a little bit too informal, it was a little bit too friendly. Bitch, we live in the most informal, friendly country ever. nobody gives a fuck about formalities for real, unless you're like in the deep south and it's like, hey ma'am, hey mister, hey sir, how's your day? But nobody's giving a fuck about that, especially if you're my peer. And 9 times out of 10 they were. But still, it would make me very scared, very hesitant, because I was just like, well, maybe how was your day needs to turn into something like, how's your day going so far? How was your day today? How was your day at this point in time? Like, it would just evolve into something more than it needed to be. So that's how it started. So me just sitting and thinking about what I was gonna say. It didn't even always have to be a question. Sometimes it was just a statement, and I would have to think about it, like just over and over and over and over again. So just like ruminating on what I was gonna say, and then as it progressed, um, I I got this job at I got this job. This shit is loud as fuck. I got this job at a retailer who's famous for selling shoes and athleisure. And the people that worked there were evil. Like, this felt like these niggas was in high school and this was their life, and they decided to make Nike like a high school experience. Um, but it was only, I don't know, that was kind of dramatic because it was really only like that for one manager who didn't like me. So I was young and I was naive at the time, and I was just kind of chatting it up in the group chat, and I was talking shit about one of the managers, and then somebody from the group chat went and told on me. They went and they told on me. I was just like, because they were complaining about the schedule, and I was like, I don't really think Ron knows how to schedule because, like, the schedule, it just wasn't that good. So I was like, I don't really think she knows how to schedule because, the schedule isn't that good. And I was told on, yes. And then after that, she sends a message to, she sends a message back to like the girl, and then she sends that message into the group chat. She's like, you know what, I don't even want to deep dive into it. Just know that that was the worst time of my life. It was so hostile. And after I said that about my manager, like this one manager who wasn't even, let's say the girl's name was Barbara, who I was talking about. The scheduling manager was Barbara. Whole time it's Hannah who's like mad at me. Another girl who isn't even a manager. She's a team lead. You're not a manager. Team lead. Hannah is getting on dick. Hannah's like, anytime I wanted to just kiki, and let me tell you, it took all of my might, all of my energy, all of my mind, body, and soul to kiki, just a smidge. It was a KK. It wasn't even like a kiki fully because I was just so shy and timid. But anytime I did, you should not be talking on the sales floor. You need to be doing your task so we can all go home. I don't want to see you laughing if your shit isn't done. So, little old me, I'm like shaking in my boots. No, she's like, and let me tell you, she yelled at me like, and she didn't even have to yell. Like, she was like a foot away from me, and she yelled at me, and it was loud enough for the whole store to hear because it was after closing, so the music was off, and it was just like, um, what's going on here? And so after that, I was just like, okay, like I'm just gonna do my work. But then as soon as another group of people start kikiing, it's fun and games. It's cool. We're gonna let it slide. So Hannah did not like me. Hannah did not like me. And it's because I was beautiful, gorgeous, long hair, beautiful body, amazing, gorgeous smile, beautiful face. Like, that's why she was mad at me. And she was ugly and miserable and worked on Nike and had a son, and she was like almost 30 years old. So, but, yes. So, and then she just kept being really annoying for the rest of the night. And we stayed way longer than we needed to. And by the end of the night, I was on the verge of tears. I kid you not. I was on the verge of tears. And so it was a very hostile environment for me. Um, I think other people felt it too. They were just better at managing it, and I didn't really know how to because I was the type of person, if I did have a job that felt hostile, I was quitting immediately. But I didn't quit that job immediately. I really don't even know why. Like, I do think that job was a big lesson for me. Um, but I guess I just needed the money. I really don't know why I didn't quit, but oh, you know why? It's because Hannah ended up getting fired because I told on her ass. Yes, I did. I was like, oh, you're not gonna yell at me and think you're getting away with this. I am a Capricorn. You're gonna get your karma. So I did tell her, and she did get fired. Yes, period. Um, but then they were like cutting off a whole bunch of seasonal people, but they didn't fire me. I swear, if I would have never said that, I would have been fired. But because I said that, I wasn't fired, and I was just like, well, you know what? Since I'm not fired, I might as well make the most out of like the $16 an hour I'm getting. But I hated that job. That job was terrible. It was a very hostile environment, and they would pressure us to get fucking emails from people for the app. And because they were always pressuring us, we would get fake emails, and then like the manager just fired a whole bunch of people and fired good people too that was actually good at the job because of the fake emails thing. But it was just like, sir, like we're all pretty young, and you're pressuring us for emails on a daily basis. Like, of course we're gonna fucking like jack the system. What do you expect? But they were fired, and I quit. But yes, I quit because it was very uncomfortable for me. Like, I was having mental breakdowns. Genuinely, I had so many mental breakdowns at that job, and but truly, I think that job taught me like I just would never in my life have nobody bitch me again like that ever again, like ever. And yes, so that was the lesson. I am my own person. I can speak up for myself, and just because you might have more, like you might be more experienced in this job than me, doesn't give you the right to think you can control me and yell at me and do crazy shit. So never in my life will I experience that ever again because I already experienced it, and I will not allow myself to feel how I felt in that time. But after that, like my anxiety is at an all-time high. My mental is at an all-time low. Like it's not good. It's not good. So I want to say, oh, at Nike, like I just had this really bad experience one day that I still haven't gotten over. So I'm not even gonna explain what happened, but it caused a lot of shame within me, and it caused a lot of ruminating, and it caused a lot of overthinking, and it caused me to feel very like I was just very critical of myself and very negative. I developed a really bad um, relationship with myself and self worth. And so that's when the social anxiety just got worse because I was just like, you know what? I can't do anything social. I am a terrible person, and I'm not even like a terrible person, but I'm just like, I suck. So let me just not even try because I'm gonna suck and I'm gonna fuck up anyways if I do try. And so that was kind of the idea that I had. Um, and then like as it went on, um, I'm now a freshman in college at this point in the story, right? So I'm a freshman in college, and the intrusive thoughts are just getting worse. They're just getting worse and worse and worse. Um, but at this point, there's still no like compulsiveness. It's just a lot of like ruminating and a lot of overthinking. Like I was ruminating and overthinking to the point of mentally being drained and feeling exhausted, and I was depressed because I was overthinking and ruminating so much on any little thing. Like the smallest thing could happen to me. I could trip. not even fall. I could trip. And if someone watched me trip, that was the end. That was the end for me. Literally just watched an ad for 2 minutes. But I don't remember what I was saying. But so yeah, I would overthink a lot about any little thing. If I stuttered, it was the end of the world for me. If I said a word wrong, it was the end of the world for me. Like, when I mean the end of the world, genuinely, I felt like I had to hide. Like, I would go back to my dorm and I would skip class sometimes because I was just so anxious. Like, I was developing, I think it's called like arthophobia, when you're scared of like humans and human interaction. Like, I swear to you, I was developing that because I would rather stay in a controlled environment, which is my bed and my room, than go outside into something that is unknown and have unknown interactions and have unknown, like, just slip ups during the day. Like, I always felt like I was going to stutter, or I always felt like I was going to trip, or I always felt like something embarrassing was going to happen to me that I didn't know how to overcome. So I would just stay in my room sometimes. I remember one time, like, spring semester, it snowed outside and I didn't know because I stayed in my room the whole weekend. Like, it wasn't until I went outside on Monday that I saw the snow melting that I was like, it snowed. The curtains was closed. I was under the covers all Friday night, Saturday, Sunday, like all 3 days. I didn't see sunlight because something had happened and I just felt really awkward about it. So I was just like, and it wasn't even anything crazy. Like, I was also having a really hard time with people treating me nicely because I just knew that they knew that I wasn't in a good mental place. And so that was another thing that was making me feel really uncomfortable. And so it was something like that happened. Like, people were just treating me really nice because I was like just really anxious, and it made me like be a shut in for 3 days. But yeah, so just having really bad anxiety, and this is where like the compulsiveness starts to happen. So I would get intrusive thoughts a lot about my family, or um, yeah, so like about my parents or my brothers. And anytime I got an intrusive thought about them, like, they're gonna get in a car crash, they're gonna die in a car crash. It was always something with the car crash. Even if it wasn't, like, if it was just something like that, like, oh, they're gonna get into a tragic accident, I would pray for like 5 to 10 minutes. I would pray for a long time. Excuse me. Every time it happened, every time it happened, I would pray. And for the most part, it was like kind of always the same prayer, but I would always pray. That is the only compulsive, like, um, physical thing that I had for my anxieties. But it was like, I felt like if I didn't pray, then it was gonna come true. So I had to pray about it. Truthfully, like, that's the only thing I could do. I had to pray about it. But I was also taking a lot of ashwagandha during this time, and the ashwagandha was helping, but I needed something more. I needed something more. And also, it's like when the ashwagandha would run out, I would stay in the room for like a day or two. Um, yes, I would stay in my room until I could get some more ashwagandha because it was just like, it was just bad. Like, it would all come back to me like a truck. So, yes, that was my battle with OCD. Um, the intrusive thoughts, the ruminating, the almost argophobia, the 5 to 10 minute prayers, the shut in. Like, I don't know what it's called in Japanese when you're just like a shut in. I think it's called a hikikomori, but that was gonna be me. Yes, that was me. Like, I And there were times where, like, spring semester my freshman year, I had a crush on this girl, and we had the same class, and like towards the end of the year, we started sitting next to each other because we became like cool. But I would get really scared about the interactions I would have, so then I just wouldn't go to class. I would skip class because I was like, well, I know we're gonna sit next to each other, and we will probably talk to each other, and I just don't know what I'm gonna say, so I'm just not gonna go to class. Like, I was avoiding interaction because that's how scared I was of interaction, that I was avoiding it. But I am taking medication. Yes, I am taking sertraline, and it has been very, very helpful. Take your medication, guys. If you feel like you need medication, if you feel like you've tried the therapy route multiple times, heavy on the multiple times. If you tried it multiple times, you feel like it just wasn't working, get your medication, queen, king, monarch, get it. Because medication has helped me in ways that I could never imagine. Truly. And now I'm here to this day. I have my friends, kind of. I have people that I can talk to. I I like to go out. I look forward to going out. I look forward to having a grand time out and about. I like talking to new people. I'm talking to someone new all the time, every day, it feels like. And I'm not scared about it. So take your medication. And happy OCD Awareness Month. Peace out.